All right, so in this lecture, we're going to look at part 3 of listening test, and we will start with the first activity, matching features question. Okay, so let's get into it. Part 3, listening part 3. Okay, what is listening part 3 look like? So we're gonna tackle short answer questions and matching features questions. So what we have to do is we have to reorder based on what the information has been given to us. We will look at developing language to express certainty and uncertainty, really, because the type of question that we're going to be looking at is going to involve, is the speaker certain about something, or if the speaker is not certain about something, and that's how we will be matching. All right. Now, conversation will be between 2 to 4 in this kind of in this part of the test. You can either get 2 speakers, 3 speakers, or 4 speakers, and it will be set in educational or training context. Okay, so it's not going to be general everyday context. It's going to be educational context. There will be 10 questions in part 3, and they are in the same order as the recording. That's the good news for us. Understanding the context and the format of part 3. So the task that we're going to tackle today is going to be 1 of 5 questions. It will have 1 to 5 questions you'll have to answer about the context. The strategies that we're going to use is obviously, use the time before the audio starts to understand the context. So before the audio starts, you should spend time on understanding the context. Okay. So let's look at understanding the context and the format of part 3, really. And we're going to look at 5 questions here. So don't worry about the questions here. The questions below 1 to 5 is what I want you to focus on. And you will have to do it on your own. And then when you come back, you will review the answers with me. But in part 3, let's read it out. And that's very important that you understand the context here. So you will hear a communication studies student talking to his tutor about optional courses for next semester. Okay, so that's the context. A student talking to his tutor about optional courses for next semester. What does Jack tell his tutor about each of the following options? So either he's definitely going to do it. He may or may not be do it. So that's where, when we were talking about certain and uncertain, the speaker, is he certain about things? Is he not certain about things? And then C, he definitely will not do it, right? Which is he won't do it, right? And the options that are given to us in terms of the subjects that we are looking for, you may choose any letter more than once. And sometimes it's more than once, so you can apply one option, right? So you've got in terms of courses, media studies, women and power, culture and society, identity and popular culture, and introduction to cultural theory. Now, I want you to pause the video here and read the questions below from 1 to 5 and answer these questions. Question number 1, how many people will be speaking? Who are they? What are they discussing? And how many courses can Jack choose from? And what is most likely to give the information that answers the questions, Jack or his tutor? Who is most likely to give information that answers the questions, Jack or his tutor? Okay, so pause the video here, and when you come back, we're going to review the answers. All right, I hope you had a chance to look at the activity on your own. Now let's discuss the answers. So question number 1 was asking you how many people will be speaking. In the prompt on the top, it said you will hear a communication communication studies student talking to his tutor about optional courses for his next semester. So it has to be 2 people talking, right? Then who are they? It's going to be Jack and his tutor. Okay. Question number 3 asks you how many courses can Jack choose from. There's 5 courses mentioned here. So it's going to be 5. And then number 5, who is most likely to give information that the answer answers the question. The question is, what does Jack tell his tutor about each of the following questions? So it's going to be Jack telling what he thinks about these courses, right? So it's going to be, as he's the one that has to choose if he's definitely going to do it, or if he's not going to do it, or he's definitely not going to do it. Okay. All right. Let's look at this example here. So we've got this example on the right-hand side. You can let's do this activity: strategies for dealing with matching questions. Put the following steps of the strategy for dealing with matching questions into the correct order. So what are you going to do first? Are you going to listen carefully for the first option? Are you going to then look at the questions? What are you going to do? What is your order of how to tackle this type of question? Okay, so think about it. Look at the steps from A to F and tell me what you're going to do. So pause the video here. Step number one, which one is step number one, what you should be doing, step number 2, 3, 4, and sequence. When you follow all the steps, it's really going to make it easier for you to tackle this type of question. So in your opinion, what do you think about it? Pause the video here, do it on your own, and then when you come back, I'll give you the right order to tackle this question. All right, I hope you had a chance to look at this activity on your own. Let's discuss now the answers. So number one, the first things first is going to be F, right? Use the time before the audio starts to read the instructions carefully and check if you must use the options once only or can use them more than once, and to think about the context of the conversation and the number of speakers and their roles in the conversation. Okay, that's the first thing you will do. Then D, you're going to first read the answers A, B, and C, because you've been given 3 answers there, and underline the keyword, right? Think of the synonyms and other ways the keywords might be expressed, okay? Then it's B. So in B, it says, then look at the questions from 21 to 25, which is you've got media studies, women in power, culture and society, identity and popular culture, introduction to cultural theory. Right, remember that you will hear these in the same order in the audio recording. Okay, so they're going to be discussing first media, then women in power, and so on. Then it says go to option A. The option A. Listen carefully for the first option, media studies to be mentioned, and remember to focus on which speaker is most likely to provide the answer. It's going to be Jack, right? Then 5C. Fifth step is going to be C. Make note of answer on the test paper if you're doing the test on the paper, or put the answer in the answer box on the computer screen, okay, if you're doing it online. All right, lastly, the step number E, remember you have 10 minutes at the end of the test on paper to transfer your answers if you're doing a paper version, or 2 minutes to check your answers if you're doing a test on the computer. Okay, so that's how you will follow logically what things you need to do. And these steps are going to help you to be able to tackle this type of question very easily. All right, moving on. Developing language to express certainty and uncertainty. All right, so look at the question again in worksheet 1 and note the 3 possible answers. They were definitely, will, maybe, may not, and won't, okay? Think of how answers may be rephrased, okay? So the answers could be rephrased. It's not always going to say, for example, if I go back, he says that he will definitely do it. He might not just say, I'm definitely going to do it. He might say, okay, I'm going to do that for sure. You know, it could be rephrased. So you really have to think about that. Put the phrases that expresses certainty and uncertainty under the correct heading. So we're going to do an activity here, and we're going to really synthesize this and understand, you know, how we're going to tackle this kind of question. So in this one, language certainty and uncertainty, in this question, the 3 possible answers are definitely will, may or may not, which is B, and then definitely not, which is he won't do it. C. Look at the phrases and expressions that express certainty and uncertainty. Work with a partner. This is an online course, so you will be working on your own most likely, and put them in correct order. So do this activity on your own. You've got phrases here. Please put them in the correct box where you think this will fit or suit. For example, I will give you an example. The first one, can I think about it? He's not sure, right? So it has to be in the middle, may or may not box, right? So do this activity on your own. The second question is asking you, can you think of other expressions you could use? So also think about other expressions if you can think of talking about, you know, definitely, will, maybe, may not, and definitely. Okay, so pause the video here, do this activity on your own, and when you come back, we're going to review the answers. All right, let's review the answers. So in exercise 1 and 2, if it's definitely will, he's going to say, yes, I'll do that one. That means he's definitely going to do it. That sounds great. that's the one for me, certainly will. All right, these are some of the things that you might hear, which will tell you that he's definitely sure about it, he will do it. May or may not, can I think about it? That's a possibility. I'm not sure. Can't make up my mind. Maybe. These are all phrases that are indicating that he's not sure about it, or he may or may not do it, right? Definitely will not. I'd rather not. You might hear things like, I'd rather not. I don't like the sound of that. Not really interested. Certainly not. These kind of phrases you're going to hear when he's definitely not going to do it. Okay. Now, 3, read the extracts from the audio recording. So these are some of the extracts that you will hear in the audio recording. I'm giving you in a written form here. For each one, decide if it means definitely yes, may or may not, or definitely not. Okay, so which one is definitely yes, may or may not, which is M, just put M. Do this exercise on your own as well, or definitely on, it's going to be DN. Do it on your own, and when you come back, you will review the answers with me. All right, I hope you had a chance to look at this on your own. 1 is DN, 2 DY, 3 M, 4 M, and DN. If we go back and I can say, well, that was interesting, but I've decided I'd rather do something completely new. That means he is definitely not going to do, right? I'll sign up for that. Then that means definitely yes. Anyway, I'll think about that one. Think about that one means he's not sure about it. I might wait until then to decide. He's not sure about that, and I'll forget about that one. He's definitely not going to do it, right? So that's how you're going to synthesize. Let's do the actual activity now. I'm going to play the audio. Let's do it together. Okay, so you've got the same prompt, the same question. You've got 5 options. Let's hear it and see if the only one is A, B, or C. It's actually the multiple choice question, right? Isn't it? All right, let's do it.
You will hear a communication studies student talking to his tutor about optional courses for the next semester. Come in. Oh, hello, Jack. Have a seat. Right. You said you wanted to see me to talk about your options next semester?
That's right. We have to decide by the end of next week. Really, I'd like to do all 5 options, but we have to choose 2, don't we?
Yes, but the choice depends on your major to some extent. You're majoring in communication studies, aren't you?
That's right.
So, for example, the media studies option will cover quite a lot of the same area you did in the core module on mass communications this semester, the development of the media through the last 2 centuries in relation to political and social issues.
Well, that was interesting, but I've decided I'd rather do something completely new. There's a women's studies option, isn't there?
Yes, Women and Power. Again, it has a historical focus. It aims to contextualize women's studies by looking at the legal and social situation in the 19th and early 20th centuries.
So it would be useful if I intended to specialize in women's studies, but I'm not sure I do, actually.
Well, it might still be useful to give you an idea of the issues involved. It's taught by Dr. Steed.
Oh, really? I'll sign up for that then. What about the option on culture and society?
That addresses the historical debate on the place of culture since the Industrial Revolution in Britain.
So a historical focus again.
Do I get the message you're not so keen on history?
Well, it's just that we seem to have done quite a lot this semester. Anyway, I'll think about that one.
If you're interested in a course focusing on current issues, there's the option on identity and popular culture. That approaches the subject through things like contemporary film, adverts, soap operas, and so on.
That sounds interesting. Can you tell me who runs it?
Well, it's normally Dr. Stevens, but he's on sabbatical next semester, so I'm not sure who will be running it. It should be decided by next week, though.
Right. Well, I might wait until then to decide. And the last option is Introduction to Cultural Theory, isn't it? I'm quite interested in that too. I was talking to one of the second-year students, and she said it was really useful. It made a lot of things fall into place.
Yes, but in fact, in your major, You'll have covered a lot of that already in Communications 102, so that might be less useful than some of the others.
I'll forget about that one then.
Now, while you're here, we could also discuss how you're getting on with your core module assignment.
All right, great. So you might have written your answers down for each of the subjects from 21 to 25. Either he is definitely he's going to do it, he may not be able to do it, or he may think about it, or he would not do it. So let's review the answers. All right, the answer, I hope you got everything right. So we've got 21 is C, 22 is A, 23 is B, 24 B, 25 C. In your own time, you can also look at the script if you got any answers wrong, or if you wanted to double check where the answers come from. You can review the transcript here as well. This lecture ends here. If you have any questions, please reach out. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.